Hi, this is Brandon with Precision Defensive Solutions, and today I want to talk about some things that kind of got under my skin that I heard while I was attending the NRA annual meetings in Atlanta this past weekend. And it's something that gets under my skin anyway, but let's talk about it a little bit. This past weekend down in Atlanta, walking around the show floor and talking to different people, and I heard some things that kind of sparked some emotion for me. Honestly, because their thought process is coming from a place of maybe not wanting to change or not understanding new technology. And to be honest with you, when we're talking about new technology, I'm specifically talking about pistol-mounted optics. And it really isn't that new. Pistol-mounted optics have been around a long time. In the format that they're in, they're just smaller and much more reliable today. But the problem is that there's no cheating them. Your presentation of the gun has to be clean. Your technique has to be better. Where iron sights, you can cheat it and correct it a little bit. But even with dots, you can too, if you understand how to use the dot. But a lot of times the older generation or the old guard doesn't want to look at how to actually use the dots effectively. And I want to talk about that a little bit. So when we talk about iron-sighted guns, we're going to talk about this type of setup: front sight, rear sight, and target. So we have three things that we're actually looking at as we do that. Now, to confirm that the gun is unloaded 100%, okay, when we use iron sights, traditionally we focus on the front sight. So rear sight blurry, target blurry. Now, only in shooting do we do that. If we're driving a car, we focus on the roadway out in front of us, okay? If we're throwing a pitch to a catcher playing baseball, we focus on the glove. Or if we're throwing a ball to another player, we focus on the glove. We focus on the target. Only in shooting do we focus on the thing that we're not going to. And it seems really counterintuitive. But this is the technology that we've had for a long time. And it's what people got used to. Are there people that can shoot iron sights very well? Absolutely. Do you absolutely 100% need a dot? No. But to discount the benefits because you don't think it's needed or needed within a certain distance, that's completely wrong. So as we present this gun out, and again, I already showed that the gun is clear. There's nobody in the room. In fact, there's nobody even in the building as I'm filming this. So if I use the camera lens as a presentation, it's up and I'm looking for my front sight and it's to the left. If I change my grip a little bit, I present and now it's center and it's aligned. But I'm having to correct at the end, and it's taking me a little bit more time to correct at the end to find my sights. And I'm seeing the sight clearly as it presents out, but I'm not seeing the camera lens clearly because of that front sight focus. At shorter distances, that may work really well, but at longer distances, that front sight may end up covering the target or affecting your ability to get good hits. With an optic mounted, and again, we're going to check this empty, and as you saw, I cycled the slide. Now, with the optic, and in particular with the SCS, it co-witnesses with the front and the rear sight right out of the gate. Okay, so as we're looking at that and we present that out, we present the gun very cleanly, and we out and we find the dot. We're out and we find the dot. We're out and we find the dot. And we're out and we find the dot. I don't understand where people struggle with this. except for they're cheating the presentation on the iron sights, I'm sure, using their peripheral vision. And the other argument that people make is that the dot bounces around, it wiggles. And people will say, well, their iron sights don't. They absolutely do. They absolutely do. You may not notice it as much, but they absolutely do. But now I can literally look at my target, and if I put my dot up on the camera, I can see where it says Nikon on it. Now you know what kind of camera I'm using. So if I can see the Nikon on my camera, and the print's not that big, and I can read it, why is that not a benefit? Superimpose the dot over the target and let it go. Now this VP9F A1 mounted with a SCS, I love this little gun. And this is actually one that came from the factory with the optic mounted. I did not mount this optic. This came from the factory this way, which you can order from your, you can pick one up like that from your dealer, from your HK Premium dealer, or order one through your favorite gun shop, whatever. These are available like this. Of course, the cost is a little bit higher than if you didn't have the optic on it, but it would be if you bought it out of the gate. And in all honesty, it might be slightly cheaper getting it directly from the factory with the SCS. So when we talk about presentation, we talk about vision. If we target focus and we're seeing more out here, we're allowing more information to come in, okay, which allows better decision making. So the people that say, well, you know, up close and personal, you're not going to see your sights in a real life situation anyway. We're going to talk about that in another video. But if you're not seeing your sights in a self-defense situation, you're likely missing, to be honest with you. So we're going to talk about some of those comments too that I heard. Don't be so closed-minded to technology that it affects your ability to grow and improve your skills. If you are, you're failing yourself, and if you're an instructor, you're failing your students. We need to stop doing this and learn to have more of a growth mindset so that we can improve ourselves, improve our shooting, improve our skills, improve our decision making. Stop being so closed-minded to new ideas. That's my rant for the day. Take care, everybody. Be safe, and we'll talk to you soon.